Dial it in, folks. It's time. It's playoff. Well, 15 minutes from now, it's time. We got to wait for this Ottawa Carolina game to finish up. And honestly, I want the Sens to win this series, but Carolina is they're just that good. And I think the Senators are going to, I think the Sens are going to have they're going to have some fits in this series. What I would like from everybody as we're kind of getting going, drop your drop your score prediction and who you think scores the first goal of the game. What do you think the score will be in tonight's game, and who scores first? Let's pop those in here. Let's get this going. I see Ron's here. Savage Cabbage is here. We'll get more as we kind of get things rolling, but 5:48 Eastern time, so 4:48 our time. 4-rip. Kirill with the first goal. I like that. I'm going 4-2 today, and I think Boldy gets it started. I think we get a Bolds goal to start it out, which I think would be just delightful. Also have a poll up in the comments if you would like to fill it out. Who wins and why? We got a 2-1 here. 2-1 for the Wild. Trav says 5-3 with Moose getting the first goal. 4-2. Kirill gets the first. 5-2. Boldy gets the first. Let's go Wild. Yeah, let's lock this in, folks. Let's dial it in. Let's get it going here. We are going to have some intermission entertainment as well. 3-1 with Zuki getting the first. Boldy on the board. I dig this. We're going to have a little intermission entertainment. We'll hear from Kevin Gorg during the first intermission. Pre-recorded interview that I did yesterday. So we'll drop that for you during the first intermission. We'll hear from Johnny Lazarus during the second intermission. And look, as much as I would like to see both of the Minnesota Wild and Minnesota Timberwolves win during the opening round of the playoffs, I am fully ready to sacrifice the Minnesota Timberwolves for the greater good. Because it's the Wild. The Wild have to be the team that advances. 3-2 Boldy. We'll be live for every Wild game. I don't think I'm going to do lives for every single day of the postseason. Maybe if the Wild get eliminated, we'll do more NHL centric. But for round one, it's going to be wild specific. I can only handle so much. Hashtag the greater good. Remember the greater good when we did that one year, and a lot of fans liked it, but a lot of fans hated it. A lot of people hated that. Hated. Yeah, no, we'll be live for every Wild game. Hard to pull for Quinn Hughes when he thinks he's too good for the. Are you a Vancouver? Gregory, are you a Vancouver guy? Or did you get spurned? Did you get spurned on an autograph request? Carolina leading 2-0. Ottawa on the power play. They've also got the empty net. About a minute and a half left to go in this game. Oh, I've got that already. Yeah, Sens, you gotta figure it out. They're just ripping shots though. .9 seconds left. 10 seconds on the power play. Sens net is empty. Oh, who blocked that? Was that Aho? That's a tough low block. Ouch. No, that was not Aho, but that was Aho. I just can't read numbers. Boy, that's a gutsy block. Jeez. Yeah, we're going to be all over the place as far as the delays go. We'll try to deal with that as much as we can. Okay, I think this turned out just fine. Updated puck drop time is now something like 4:48. Thanks to the magic that is ESPN. Look, I understand wanting to make sure you don't have any overlap between the two games, but Sens are going to come up empty here. Fives. Oh, now we got the fisties. I was at the Maverick spring game. Did I hear correctly? Brady Tkachuk fought in the opening faceoff. Did I hear that correct? Cane's logo is a nautical flag, warning flag to alert sea captains there's a hurricane. Obviously on an upside down hockey stick. That's pretty tight. I did not know the backstory for that. That's pretty tight. And of course, Brady Tkachuk fought the opening face-off. Oh, he just got tossed. Oh, yeah. I don't really have any problem with that. It's playoffs are high emotion. Like I get it. Sens are obviously frustrated, but what can you do? All right, let's pop this in so that this is ready for intermission. What's up, Urban? Are we ready? Polls so far. Ron says 4-2. Boldy gets the first. Kirill makes it 2-0. Jesse provides the ultimate Stars jinx. I dig that. Poll right now that we have, if you have not voted, make sure to do so. 93% say Wild win game 1. Quinn, if you missed any of the updates today, Quinn Hughes is in. Zach Bogosian is back in. That's a surprise. And Jesper Wallstedt is in net. I know there's a lot of. I feel like Zach Bogosian is one that, especially if you are more analytic, you're not a huge fan of, but I think he adds. I mean, compared to Jeff Petrie, I'd rather have Bogosian for sure. Also back Miro Heiskanen. He's in, but he'll probably be, there'll be a little bit of rust to his game, you would imagine, since he hasn't played since the last time these two teams went toe to toe. That was the last game he played. So you'd imagine it'll take him a little while to kind of get himself back. But regardless, getting him in the lineup is a big win for Dallas. So us fully healthy, Dallas healthy-ish. They're doing a remake of Man on Fire. I don't know how you can remake anything Denzel is in. All right, here we go. Stars are wearing the 99s tonight. Obviously trying to create some level of a slight against the Wild with that decision. They call it catering to their history, but I think we all know what it actually is. Sam Steele's in the starting lineup. How about that? How about that? Sam Steele. Quinn Hughes is back in. He's ready to rock. They're ready. They're ready to rock. While they're ready to lock in. I sure hope so. I don't want to hear that thing one time. I don't want to hear it once the whole series. Yes, Sam Steele played for a brief cup of tea. Very, very brief. Like one part of one season, maybe 2 total years, but not long at all. We have a vote for the Stars, 5-3. Yakov Trenyan gets goal number 1 here tonight. Jesper dialed. It's a great goalie matchup in this series. Britt dropping in. Wild have a better record winning game one on the road than at home. That's a good omen. That is we like to see that. We like to hear that. Quinn Hughes, 3 apples tonight. Give him 6. Give him 6 apples. Give him all the apples. Time to lock in. Let's do it. Let's go. Puck is down. I do, Britt. If I can find my mouse here. I'm predicting a 4-2 win for the Wild in game one. And a tone set. Now, important to mention too, as much as we would love to not lose game one, Dallas is as the home team, they're the team that's expected to win this game. So this series is all going to be about pushes back and forth, momentum swings, and who takes advantage and who doesn't. Jesper with a early save from a shot way out on the perimeter, and the extracurriculars have already started. Yeah, that's savage. As much as I hate to admit that those are the kinds of shots that Gus has struggled with for like a month. Just not seeing them at all. Wild have got to do a really good job tonight of defending the middle of the ice. That would be Bob Wischusen is the play-by-play guy for this game. I tweeted it out. I don't know who is doing color commentary for this one, but I did repost it. I'll find it somewhere. Eric Johnson. Interesting. Eric Johnson's elite, though. Like going from a player to being as good as he is with the media stuff. I'm sure it's Wischusen. I don't have the sound up. Just so that I'm not distracted by it. It's going to be tight. There is not going to be a lot of room to operate for either team in this series. This is going to be intense. Yurov already taken a little bit of a hit in the corner, but Foligno dropped one earlier, and yeah, it's just about trying to find those little moments. See, even on that shot, okay, can I give me a second to just explain something that I feel like is one of the issues with Philip Gustafson right now. So on that last save that Jesper made, he not only did he catch it like midsection, but he also slid over to catch it like squared up. You know, he didn't try to just move a little bit. Like he actually slid over to catch it right so that it's square in the breadbasket. And how many times have we seen Philip Gustafson over the last um 5, 6 games? How many times have you seen that puck that just slides underneath the arm, that trickles into the net under the arm? Those have been spots that he has really had troubles with at points throughout the year. So even just seeing Jesper um, just get into better position is a good start for this game. But the Wild are going to have to find ways to match the push offensively. Like you can't just turtle it and just go into defend mode. Like you got to find ways to push the attack on your end as well. And I'm sure they will. I'm confident in their ability to do that. If you kind of get Dallas playing on their heels and, you know, they get backed up in their own zone and they try some of these long passes out, that's where you generate the turnovers and then you can flip and send it your way to the offensive zone. Good entry here. Jesper also way more prone to freezing the puck. I think Gus tends to allow the puck to be kicked around for rebounds a little more. And I think I think he's more comfortable just stopping the action for different pauses. All right, here come the Wild. Shot. Ottinger with the save. Big hit. Did Zuccarello just get destroyed? Yeah, he popped back up though. Dallas going to the box. Tyler Myers. It was a healthy elbow. Hines is already, he's saying that should be a 4-piece. All right, now you got to make him pay. You got to make him pay. You got to capitalize on it. Stars win the face-off. Not a good start on the oh boy. Not a good start on the power play. Just can't really get anything going. All right. Now they're in. Jeek Joel Eriksson Ek, tic-tac-toe. On the board. Oh, that was a gorgeous feed. Let's go. Download a Boldy, chip pass, Eriksson Ek through the middle. That's what dreams are made of, folks. That's what dreams are made of. It's an outstanding start. God. That's a good start. Yep. Diane's right. You can't you can't hold back. See if that power play gets them going. See if that gets them some juice in the offensive zone. God, that's a great. And okay. So again, God, I should have a whiteboard here. I should have a whiteboard for this. All right, so you all saw where Boldy was playing on that power play goal, right? He's just to the right of the net. And so he takes that pass in and kind of opens up that middle part of the ice, and Ek just slides right in. That's textbook. That is textbook, and that is north-south. That is north-south. That's what you need on the power play. That's so good. Seventh career postseason goal for Joel Eriksson Ek with that power play tally. Three power play goals in both regular season games in Dallas. That's a great nugget. Nicely done. AJ Fredrickson of Judd's Hockey Show also mentioning that every single Wild player on the ice touched that puck in a span of 5 seconds. Jeez. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting, that's the good stuff. But hey, you can't get one and call it good. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep attacking here. Selfishly, take it to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Just keep pushing it because Dallas will respond. We should also, when there is kind of a lull, maybe when there's a commercial break, should probably go through and make my official predictions on what happens in the playoffs, even though we're already a game in. Go figure. Go figure that I would wait until the playoffs have already started to drop my official playoff predictions. It's okay though. I think we did plenty this week. Do you guys like what we all rolled out as far as different looks at the series? Did we like the episode disbursement? Wild going to the box now. Looks like JoJo going. So Dallas will get a power play here. Huh. Yeah, I saw it. It was very it was a small amount of contact, but it was contact. So it is that's I'm not gonna say that it was a BS call. You just got to stop this power play now. Nice. Good job getting it down there. Good start. Jesper, cool as a cat. Cool as a cat, just slides through and just snags the puck. Gah. Get those defense cheers going. Anybody surprised that on the day that the series started that we got the Jason Robertson was snubbed articles out of Dallas? Anybody surprised that was put out into the world, put out into the ether? $30 seconds left in the power play. Jesper locked in again. Oh, it was definitely outside the net, but boy, that was a tight window for Jesper to lock that puck down. Jeepers. But again, you see it right there. You see it on that play. He's just does a good job of getting in position. Tic-tac-toe out in front, backhanded out. First test. Checked off the box. Good point made here. Very good point made here. Johnston is, I mean, and rightfully so, 27 power play goals. He is outstanding on the power play, but I would imagine that the Wild are going to put a lot of pressure on Wyatt Johnston and are going to say, we're not going to let Johnston beat us when Dallas is on the man advantage. It's going to have to be somebody else. And that's the right way to play that. Like, it's still a good enough power play that Dallas has, they got Jason Robertson, they got other players that they can throw, but you can't let the one guy who did it all year, you can't let him be the one to beat you. You got to just take him out of the equation. God, when did they take the media timeout here? Or did they? All right, we got under 8 to play. Wild with the 1-0 lead. This is going to be a real, this is going to be a big test of weathering momentum too. I don't even remember the point I was going to make there. Looks like this is media timeout finally. All right. Let's talk about these series here quick. So you got Senators, Hurricanes. I'll go in order that they have been played because nobody cares about WrestleMania. Senators, Hurricanes. As much as I would like to pick the Senators because they're kind of a fun story, the Hurricanes are just a machine. Like, they are just a complete machine. If they get any level of goaltending whatsoever, they'll win that series. I think Hurricanes win in 6. Wild Stars, my official prediction is Wild in 7. Avs, Kings. Nice. This is good work here. Canes and Wild, game 1 money line. Halfway home. Avalanche Kings. I mean, does anybody give, are the Kings even going to get 1 game? Maybe. I'll take Avs in 5. I'll give them 1. I'm going to take Avs in 5. Tampa Bay, Montreal. I think I'll take Lightning in 7. Canadians are unbelievably good. They've got great scoring. They have 2 rookie goalies. And look, I know we are doing the same thing. Like, we're obviously starting Jesper tonight. Rookie goalies can certainly do it. I think the experience for Tampa Bay wins out in that series. So I'll take the Lightning to win in 7 there. Boston and Buffalo. This one is interesting too, because there are so many people that are saying Boston wins no problem. I think Buffalo's going to be a problem. I'm taking Sabres in 6. Then we get Utah, Vegas. I think Vegas will win this for the same reason that Tampa Bay will beat Montreal. It's just the experience thing, and they have been playing much better. They have been playing much better since Torts came on board. So I will pick the Golden Knights to win that series in 7. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh in 6 is what my brain tells me. And then Anaheim, Edmonton. Anaheim, Edmonton is your sweep of the first round. And I think the Oilers sweep because Anaheim has been, I'm going to use a new word here. Anaheim has been repugnant for basically since the Olympic break. They have been an absolute atrocity. So I'm picking the Oilers to sweep them. Oh, we got the fisties. Fisties already. I shouldn't say already. It's 5:47 into the first period. I do kind of like Philly and Pittsburgh that's an old school rivalry. So I like getting that. I have not really ever been much of a fan of their style of play, the Flyers in particular. And I don't know, Pittsburgh kind of did it with smoke and mirrors. Sidney Crosby will be coming back. So I just think Pittsburgh will win it. Beyond that, you're on your own. I can't help you as far as the playoffs go after that. We're just going to go series by series. This was we kind of talked about this last night. I think Brink stands a good chance to play if the Wild advance, but because of how big and bulky Dallas is, you gotta be able to match that. That intensity, that physicality, that oomph. And Nick Foligno played well down the stretch. I think whether it be an injury or whether it be just a shift in how the Wilds attack this when we get to round 2, if we get to round 2, I think you'll see Brink work his way in, or if they need to just change things up a little bit here in round 1. They certainly have the options to do so. All right, 5:47 left here in round 1. Period number 1. Wild leading 1-0. Now the officials just throwing everybody off the face-off circle. Wild win the draw. Boy, Boldy is so good against the boards with those puck battles. Do you see the way that he kept the puck in the zone right there, despite having a Stars player all over him? That is a part of his game that has just grown exponentially over the last few years. Good zone entry. Yeah, both teams are Both teams are mixing it up. I will also, if Faber shaves his mustache in any fashion, he can't touch that thing. Like, you just got to let that grow out until the entire postseason's done. See, now this is kind of what I was talking about. Is they're getting sucked into the back of their zone, and they're trying these long passes that are just pretty easy to recover off of turnovers. Again, Jesper in the exact right position to make the save. How cool is this? How cool is this for Jesper? Game 1 start. Game 1 start, and he looks dialed. Yeah, this, it's obviously goes against a lot of what we have come to expect from this team over the years. But I think in similar situations, I think many teams make the same call. But I think as much as it was Gus's numbers not being great over his last like 8 to 10 starts, I think Jesper just was that good that he warranted the coaching staff making this call, because he was unquestioned the better of the two goalies down the stretch. Minnesota Timberwolves officially lost game 1. Again, like I said before the game even started, I would definitely sacrifice the Timberwolves if it means the Wild getting to round 2. Sorry. I know we want to be fans of all of the different teams, but if I got to make a call and I got to put somebody on the chopping block, I mean, I'd put the Twins on the chopping block for the rest of time. It's just the lay of the land. For the first intermission, I'm going to play for you because it should time out pretty much exactly. I will pull out of it if we need to. I'm going to play the interview that I did with Kevin Gorg just to give me some time to use the bathroom and everything during the first intermission, because I'm getting older, and I've got a pop in front of me, and I've got another energy drink in front of me, and at some point I'm going to have to, still battling back and forth. Just 14 total shots on goal between the two, with just over 2.5 minutes left to play here in the first period. But the Wild they're doing exactly what you have to do as the road team. Oh. Yurov right out in front. But Ottinger able to hold his own. And that play starts with Yakov Trenyan with a big hit along the boards to knock the puck free. And now the fisties again. Let's see this shot again. Oh, great pass through. Okay, so he tries to go 5-hole, but Ottinger shuts the door. How did that pass get through? Yeah, if Yurov holds that for a split second, he has a chance to go high. But still, love the play along the wall to knock that puck free. That's why the Wild play the way they do. All right, here come the Stars. And Jesper steps right up. Another big save. Freight train. Can we call him the Freight Trenin? Does that have a ring to it? Oh, Rantanen thought he had it. Jesper got it right under the he got it right under the pad. Looks like the Wild are going back to the power play. Bogosian being checked for blood. So Stars going back to the box. He's checking everything inner mouth to make sure that. Oh yeah, it was Rantanen. Yeah, that was definitely. Definitely. Definitely a penalty. All right. Big power play here. Wild on the power play tonight, 1-for-1 with one shot on goal. All right. Shot in close. I love the design on that play. So you've got Eck as your main primary net front guy. Kirill Kaprizov on the back end too. Like the Wild know that they have got to capitalize on rebounds in this series. They have got to capitalize on rebounds. There's like an 11-second difference between the actual clock and the power play time left. Ooh, did Andre make that save? Ooh, that was close. Let's see that replay again. Sweet give and go. All right, Kirill. Yeah, Boldy just didn't get all of it. And Ottinger just was kind of swanned out. Oh, and then he just straight up missed with the glove save. Just straight up missed with the glove transfer. All right, Wild win the face-off. Quinn's playing angry too. Jeffrey, I can't legally play the game. If I show any bit of the game, I know those people do on TikTok. If I show any bit of the game, this channel's getting shut down. Like that's just how this works. All right. Good road first period. The Wild will have like 10 seconds of power play time when period 2 re-engages. But just so that I can make sure that we get this in fully, let's hear from our guy, KG. Welcome back to today's episode of Locked On Wilds. Once again, we thank you for making Locked On Wilds your first listen each and every day. Make sure to hit that like button on YouTube and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new episodes throughout the week. Big topic to discuss here today is what just was announced, that Jesper Wallstedt is going to be in net for Game 1. Here to help us break that down as well as the series is our good friend Kevin Gorg of FanDuel Sports Network. And Kevin is down in Dallas getting set for the series to start. KG, great to talk to you. And some big news coming out today. So we'll drop right in with that. Jesper Wallstedt getting the start in Game 1. Are you surprised that John Hynes went this route, or was this just a situation of Jesper just playing his way into that spot?
Great to be with you, Seth, and an excellent question to start the conversation out. A little bit surprised for sure. I thought, kind of reading the tea leaves and trying to guess the last couple of days being around the team. Gustafsson was in the starters net today at practice at American Airlines Center, so maybe a little bit surprised, but they've played both guys all year. They've played both goalies against top-level teams, and he came into the year as a question mark, Jesper Wallstedt did. And I think the body of work that he's put together this season has shown everybody that this kid probably is worthy of that first-round draft pick. He's got an unbelievable, ceiling in terms of potential, and he's starting to really climb in terms of, if you look at numbers throughout the regular season, where save percentage is, goals against below expected, all that, the analytics that come into it. And the way he's played down the stretch, I think this would have been a much harder decision for John Hynes 2 weeks ago. But I really feel the way Wallstedt has played down the stretch, specifically those last couple of starts, tipped the scales in his favor. And I think both goalies are going to make an impact on these playoffs. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, Seth, if both play in this series. Minnesota's done it all year long. I wouldn't expect anything different here.
Yeah, it does feel like just because Jesper's getting the start does not mean we're not going to see anything from Gus, because you hit it right on the head. Both guys got them here. And I think one of the things, Kevin, that I like and appreciate most about Jesper is the confidence that he plays with. And it seems like he makes a couple of big saves, and it fuels him, it fires him up. And it just makes his game better. And, maybe that's part of kind of what goes into this is in the postseason against this Dallas team. If he can get a couple of big saves early, then maybe he can steal them a game in one of the first two here on the road.
Yeah, he does exude confidence. And, I've always said this, the goaltender, like a quarterback in football, like a pitcher in baseball, a team can feed off whether that player is exuding confidence or just the opposite, maybe fighting it a little bit. And he is a guy that does play with some swagger. He's athletic. Just watching him ice level last time out against Anaheim. And again, the Wild were playing certainly more of a lineup that featured some other minor league guys. And this guy went out there and just attacked the puck. I mean, he was the lateral movement, the way he positioned himself, the way he was able to eat pucks. If he can have that style of play carry over into Saturday afternoon in Dallas, I think Minnesota is going to be in a great position to win a hockey game. Dallas does a lot of east-west stuff on their power play. He's an athletic goalie. He's probably the more athletic goalie of the two, and that's going to be a matchup to watch when Dallas gets on the power play. Your best penalty killer, your most important player on the ice down a man is your goaltender, and the way he's playing right now, I think he can be a real difference maker for Minnesota.
Kevin, this Wild team, it seemed like when the calendar flipped to April, said, okay, it's go time. And they put a really good stretch together at the beginning of the month. They go toe-to-toe against Dallas. They had a 3-1 lead in that game. Unfortunately, the Stars were able to rally to win that one. But it felt like once we got close enough to the postseason, they really put on display what we'll see here in the playoffs. Being around the team the last couple of days in practice, do you get that sense that they have flipped it to, okay, it's business time. Let's go take care of our work and let's turn this into a nice business trip in Dallas.
Yeah, I think you mentioned their play picked up a notch or two, and it came directly after a 4-day break where they were given a couple of days off and had a couple of really good practice days to dial back in the way they want to play. And then they rattled off 4 wins. They played some of their best hockey of the second half of the season. And then late in the year, after that Dallas game, once it was kind of, obvious that Dallas was going to get the home ice, they took their foot off the gas a little bit. And from talking to the guys around the hotel, on the airplane yesterday, and then more importantly around the rink today after morning skate, same type of break this week. Day off, couple of good practice days after a grinding 6-month schedule. Players like Marcus Foligno, Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, Jared Spurgeon, they all told me the same thing. Their bodies just feel a little bit better right now because they got that break late in the year. And you think of Brock Faber and Matt Boldy specifically, these are guys that played during the Olympic break and won a gold medal, which is great, but they never had a chance to have a period of time where they could really rest up the body, the bumps and bruises that go along with playing in the National Hockey League. So I think this break at the end of the year is going to do them well. And this was not done, with John Hines just saying, all right, you guys just go sit around and eat some bonbons and put your feet up on the Barca lounger. I mean, they were doing skating sessions with Andy Ness. They were doing conditioning in and around Tria Rink and their facilities. But to not have to go out there and block shots, to not have to go out there and take cross checks in the back if you're Drew Erickson and some of those guys, this was really, really good for the Wild.
Kevin, one of the things that I have been looking at in this series, it happened the last time these two teams matched up. It felt like Dallas kind of they went the big brother route and pushed the Wild around a little bit. I don't get the sense that is going to happen again this year, because in that final regular season matchup, felt like we saw a little bit of that frustration. Like we're tired of this just kind of mentality that the rest of the division up top just is the big brother. Like we're in the conversation too, and I feel like we're going to see that play out a little bit in this series.
I think Minnesota's going to have a chip on their shoulder for sure. And I think the line they have to walk, Seth, is they have to use the physical play that's given them success all year long. They're top 5 in the league in terms of checking and using that physical play. They have the number 1 hit maker in the league in Yakov Trenyan. I think of players like Hartman and Foligno. And I asked John Hines about an hour ago directly if he has to talk to some of these guys when there's more emotion involved and it's a rivalry game against Dallas in the playoffs. And Dallas likes to dive and try to get things cooking. Can your team keep their composure? Because the last time these teams played in the playoffs a few years ago, that was a difference. Minnesota could not keep their cool. Dean Evison was the bench boss. Everybody seemed to lose their cool. Dallas was getting 4, 5, and 6 power plays a night, and that tipped the scales in the favor of the Stars. So Minnesota's got to play physical. They got to get in their face. They got to have a chip on their shoulder, but they have to have penalty discipline. To me, that is almost the most important factor in handicapping this matchup, where there's razor thin margins between these two teams. If you look at all of the numbers, can Minnesota play physical and not take penalties?
It feels like in this series, this is the reason that Bill Guerin went out and got a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko for that postseason experience, that ability to provide scoring in the middle of the lineup. He's going to be playing on the third line with Danila Yurov and Trenyan. That line has had some good chemistry all year. What do you think the chances are that Tarasenko makes some noise for the Minnesota Wild in this series?
I love that you asked me about Vladdy, because I had a conversation with him in the last week where I said, listen, you've won a couple of Stanley Cups. You've got some young players specifically on your line you're playing with. How do you go about the Stanley Cup playoffs? Do you talk about winning a cup? And he said, no, the last thing you do is talk about the cup. He said, you talk about what's straight in front of you. Wherever your feet are, you talk about right now what's most important. And that's that next shift, that next period, the next game in the series. You don't talk about the big picture. The cup will find you if you play the right way. And I found that to be super interesting, because this guy's got a ton of big game experience. He's won at the highest level. He's done it a couple different times. And now you've got young players like Trenyan and Yurov by his side. his fellow countrymen that have, that chemistry with him. And he is a player. If Trenick can go in and do the dirty work, if Yurov can go to the net, he's kind of like a mini Jule Eriksson-ek. You can get some space and get Tarasenko the puck. He still has that unbelievable shot. That's been his trademark, Seth, from day one when he first stepped into this league. He still has that shot. And if Minnesota can get him to a position in some of those matchups with the third and fourth line that they're going to garner where he can use his shot, look out, because the guy is red hot right now. He's playing his best hockey of the year. I mean, before the season started, we said, God, could he get to 15 or 20 goals? He's got 23 during the regular season. And something tells me guys like him and Hartman could be real big X factors in this series.
Not only those guys, but, just the fact that we get to see Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, Quinn Hughes go up against Jason Robertson, Mikko Rantanen, and Miro Heiskanen, who it looks like is trending towards playing in game one. What an unbelievable battle between two of, you put the top trios together as far as NHL teams go. Those have to be two of the top trios in all of the NHL, and they're going toe-to-toe in round one.
Yeah, if you're a hockey fan, and listen, we're biased because we're, Minnesota fans, but if you just look at the opening round series, and there are some really good series on paper. To me, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is going to be epic. I think Boston and Buffalo could be terrific. But if you look at teams that can win a Stanley Cup and talent on the ice, which you just mentioned, I don't know that you can find a better series than what Minnesota and Dallas has to offer. Now, you mentioned Heiskanen. He practiced today. It looks like he will play for the Dallas Stars. Remember, Roope Hintz not back for games 1 and 2. Still a question mark when we come back to St. Paul for games 3 and 4. But I want to talk about Kirill Kaprizov in specific. If today's practice is any indication of what we're going to see this weekend from 97, you better buckle up. I was watching practice with Ryan Carter and Wes Walls, and we were all like, oh, my God. This guy was flying around the rink. I mean, absolutely full of it today, and he's healthy. And I think the last couple years in the playoffs, remember, he barely got back in time for the postseason last year. He wasn't even close to 100%. 97 right now, all systems go, fully healthy, flying at practice. I'll be shocked if he doesn't have a big game in game one.
Man, now I'm ready to run through a brick wall here. Kevin, I want to ask you about a couple of other guys. Nick Foligno was I think an important addition by Billy Guerin at the trade deadline. Not a guy that, is going to play very high up in the lineup, but I think he brought just a needed additional presence in this locker room. And you've seen the impact that it's had on Marcus Foligno, having Nick on the roster with him and now playing on the same line as him. That line with McCarron and the Folignos, if I were Dallas, I would be concerned because I think that line stands to cause some major problems in this series.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, Nick has fit in so well with this team off the ice. It's so funny. A couple weeks ago, Boldy had gone through a stretch of games where he hadn't scored a goal in a while. I think he had one goal in like 6 games, which is rare for Matt. And the Wild were in Detroit, and they got there and went out to dinner, a bunch of the players. And Boldy said, I'm picking up the tab because I feel like if I do this, I'm going to score a goal tomorrow. And sure, as you would think, he gets the goal in Detroit. I think he had 3 points in that game, and he bought that dinner. So the last road trip we were on, Nick Foligno has done a lot of good things with the Wild, but he hadn't scored a goal in a Wild sweater. So he said, all right, I'm going to buy a bunch of the guys dinner. I'm going to pick up the tab. We get back home, I'm going to score a goal. Well, he scored a goal. And he also set up the first career goal for Hunter Haight. He's terrific on the penalty kill. He's unbelievable in the room. And he and Marcus Foligno, I'm just telling you, Seth, the smiles on their faces, watching those guys hanging out in the locker room, running around the rink, on the airplane together. These guys have always been really tight. They've always been super close. And, remember, their dad was an NHLer, a really good player, long-time NHLer, but their mom raised them. And they spent a ton of time with their mom, who passed away, sadly, back in 2009 from breast cancer. But that connection that Marcus and Nick have always had has been special. And to see them get the opportunity to play together. And listen, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. It's game one. I'm like you. I'm getting a little emotional here. But if this team could go on a run with these two brothers on this hockey team, I'm going to tell you right now, it's got Disney movie written all over it, especially when you consider Minnesota, right? Like, this hockey market has been starved for a Stanley Cup going back to when I was a little kid. I'm going way back to when the North Stars first started. Team gets taken away and brought to Dallas, and here we are. Like, it is setting up. Like, this thing is coming together. And I know Minnesota sports fans, and I understand the carnage there, but I'm telling you, this is bar none the best team we've ever had with the Minnesota Wild, and this is the most healthy they've been going into a playoff series. We got to cross our fingers a little bit with Quinn Hughes right now, and I know we'll get to that in this conversation, but this team is not only good enough to beat Dallas, this team's good enough to win the Stanley Cup, and I truly believe the team that wins this series will be representing the Western Conference in June.
Wow. Yeah, I can't argue that at all, because this, I've seen a lot of people suggest this feels like a conference finals matchup in round one. You mentioned Quinn Hughes. Sounds like from what John Hines said, he's been under the weather a little bit, but it's playoff time, and whatever ailment Quinn Hughes has as far as illness goes, sounds like he's going to shake it off, and he is going to be on the ice for game one. And just his presence since he came to Minnesota just has turned this team into just a completely different unit than we have seen previously. They were one of the best teams as far as goals scored since Quinn Hughes came into the lineup. And, that's a dynamic that they have not had in previous years, especially when they get to the postseason.
He does so many little things so well. And they're hopeful that he can play. And I think the fact that he has missed these last couple days should give us some cause for just a little bit of concern. But he's a rink rat, and if he's healthy enough, I'm certain he'll try to give it a go. I think they've got to make some smart choices here, realizing this is just game one, and they've got some depth at that position. Bill Guerin has put this team into a great spot where they've got some quality players waiting in the wings, players that can step in and give you quality minutes. And I think of Damon Hunt. I think of Jeff Petrie. I think of players like that. It does look like Zach Bogosian's going to be a goal. But Quinn Hughes, if the Minnesota Wild have him on the ice, they're a different hockey team. The way they break the puck out, the way they attack, the power play, the ripple effect of having 43 on the ice on Saturday afternoon will be significant. Now, Minnesota can still win the game without him, and I think it's probably 80-20 he plays, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly here in Dallas. But if that 20% rears its head, and you're a Wild fan, I still think you have to have faith, because probably a different way they have to play, probably not quite as aggressive. Maybe they're not going to get to 4 or 5 goals on Jake Ottinger, but you could still win a game 3-2. You could still use your assets, and they've got a ton of them, starting with 97 and 12 up front and 7 on the back end. But no, I think he likely plays, but certainly it's fairly significant, because to not be around the team all week, to not practice here both yesterday and today here in Dallas, he's clearly got something that isn't just your average everyday cold.
Yeah, and this furthers the point as to why it was so important that the Wild prioritized the rest down the stretch, because now you go into this series, and this is something that has not been a frequent occurrence either. You got a fully healthy Jonas Brodin and Jared Spurgeon at your disposal too.
That's huge. Again, shutdown players. You can bet me that John Hines, whether 43 is in the lineup or not, is going to try to get Brodin out there against the Johnstons or the Robertsons. He's going to try to make sure he has the matchup where Jared Spurgeon can be effective breaking that puck out and shutting down some of those top weapons that Dallas has. And I've got a lot of faith in John Hines and this coaching staff. They put a lot of time into this. And the cool thing is both teams have known they're likely going to be playing here for about 6-8 weeks. So they put the time in, and, Hines was really candid with us and said, he has enough information where he could give each guy this giant booklet on how to play against the Dallas Stars. But he said, I want my guys to play their game. We're not going to overthink it. We're going to stick to basics and practice today. A couple things they worked on, breaking the puck out, using the middle of the rink on the way they attack in the offensive zone, the high slot. These are things I would look for tomorrow. And I think for Minnesota, that physical play on the forecheck, they did some puck battle drills yesterday before they left town. So they're in a really good place right now. They're feeling great about their game. And I think you're going to see this team hit the ice, tomorrow in Dallas with a purpose. I think they're going to play a very intense physical game. I don't think it's going to be quite like we saw a couple weeks ago, because I don't think you're going to see a lot of fights come playoff time, but it's going to be intense.
Kevin, final one for you. Appreciate the time as always, and we'll definitely check in as the postseason unfolds. Jake Ottinger, one of the best goalies in the league, and certainly has had his success against Minnesota. He has said he circles the games against Minnesota on the calendar, so he's bringing it. How do the Wild need to attack him? We saw them go right to the net in that regular season matchup between these two teams. Does it need to be more of that? How can they get success against Jake Ottinger this series?
Yeah, it won't be easy to do. I've known Jake for a long time. He was a classmate of one of my daughters at Lakeville North. He's a terrific kid. And he, for a big guy, is a guy that can move very well laterally in the net. So I think 5-hole is an area of a target for Minnesota. I also believe, putting players like Eck and Hartman around the blue paint, any goalie will tell you, if you can disrupt that part of the rink, and not just the vision for Jake Ottinger, but he likes to really be mobile around that net. Take away some of that area outside the crease, so he has to stay further back in the net. And as always with these goalies, you got to get him down. And Minnesota has got to attack his feet, make him go down, and then you can get him on the rebound. And he has had the type of season where I think that he's gettable. And even in the game a couple weeks ago, I know Dallas won that hockey game, but I left thinking Minnesota knows how to score on this guy. They were able to put pucks in the net, and I don't think that has changed. And so, yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, you're going to have to get to at least 30 shots to score 3 or 4 on this guy. But I do think that even early in his career, he had kind of dominated Minnesota, is slowly turning the other way. And so I think you have to make him move as much as possible, and you have to disrupt his comfort level. And I think Eck, who I talked to today, is really looking forward to going to his spot and trying to frustrate both Ottinger and that crew of defensemen. And no one does it like number 14.
Yeah, and he's fully healthy this series. The last time these two teams squared up, he played 19 seconds. That was it. So
unbelievable.
X going to be a major factor in this series, and I can't wait. I know you can't wait, KG. This is going to be an all-out war between these two teams, and it's going to be absolute cinema hockey. Looking forward to it so much, and appreciate the time hopping in here to preview the series. Go get them out there on the broadcast. Despite what Kevin Fallness says, mute TV. I'll be watching on TV.
I appreciate that. I've got Wild in 7. I think you got to get your popcorn ready, Seth. If you're a hockey fan, you're going to get treated to some of the best hockey that NHL Playoffs has available for you in round 1. And tomorrow it all starts, so let's get after it.
2-0. Let's ride. Kirill Kaprizov on the top shelf. Boy, what a start. That is such a big goal right out of the gate to start the second period. And, again, you can't rest on your laurels for any lead, but making it 2-0, every goal that you add just makes it that much tougher for Dallas, and it takes the room away. And, I dropped my first period thoughts on X after the first. Kirill Kaprizov's 16th career Stanley Cup playoff goal, by the way, which, talk about the records. Oh, let's see this. Oh my God. That's unfair. That is, that's not even as much about like a bad play made by Otter. I mean, he certainly didn't react quick enough to it, but that's just, you can't tuck that in any better. Okay, so here are my Kaprizov with his 16th Stanley Cup playoff goal, which ties Zach Parise for the most in franchise history. 16th career Stanley Cup playoff goal. Here are my thoughts after the first period. Jesper is dialed. Looks great. Yakov Trenyan is already bowling a china shop out there, which is going to just, as the Wild try to impose their will as this series unfolds, Ryan Hartman, enter stage right. God, playoff Ryan Hartman. Stand and deliver. Right out in front. And a tip right out in front of the net. Shot by Faber. And a deflection by Hartman. On the front of the net. That's where you have to attack Jake Ottinger. You have to get in front of him. Wow. What a start. What a start for the Wild. But we well know job's not finished, folks. So this is where this Wild team can, this is where they can try to impose their will down the stretch. I loved what Gorg said too about practice on Thursday. Oh, and now the Wild are going to the power play again. Wow. I mean, I certainly didn't expect Dallas to get run out of the building. But again, like, this is fantastic. This is a great start, but you have to sustain it. You have to keep going with it. Now, Ryan Hartman's got involved. Joel Eriksson Ek is involved. Kirill Kaprizov was involved. Urban said Wild in 5. Unleash it. All we need now is a Boldy goal. Nice work by Hartman keeping the puck in, but then Dallas clears it. All right, here we go. Husey back across to Vlad. Vladdy getting some power play run. Dig that. Long board battles. Ottinger with the absolute rip glove save. Ottinger's had enough. He has had enough of this. Yeah, I like Tarasenko to have a big series. Appreciate it. Yeah, I like doing episodes with Joey. He's in England right now. But when he comes back, we're probably gonna do some live post games together. When he gets back to the States. He's one of my favorites. And honestly, I've done enough crossovers with the Central Division hosts that I like doing crossover shows with all those guys. So we're definitely going to be doing more of those, and we'll check in with him. We'll check in with Gorgie as the series unfolds. We got a lot coming up for you. A lot. All right, 12 seconds left on this power play. Puck out in front. Kirill was trying to feed it to Boldy right out in front of the net, but there just was not a lot of space there. Are you kidding me? Early night for Otter? Early night for Otter? Wow. A 3-goal second period? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, off the post. And even on that play behind the net, how about Jared Spurgeon riding Mikko Rantanen into the boards? Wow. The Wild have 3 goals this period on, I think, 9 shots. Wow. Yeah, they're just playing with the tenacity, folks. Like it's not it's not even as much that Dallas is just it's not even as much that Dallas is playing bad. The Wild are just taking the fight right to them. Like the Wild are just punching them right in the mouth. And when you go up against a team like that, that is terrifying. It reminds me of in A Christmas Story when Ralphie just starts punching Scud Farkas in the face after he bullies him enough to where he just snaps. That's what it reminds me of. Is Ralphie is just punch after punch, just in the face over and over again, and all the rest of the kids that are standing around watching are just like, yikes. And the Wild are doing a good job for the most part of holding Dallas right now to one shot and out. One shot in the zone, and that's it. And then they go right back on the attack. Old school Burnsy chainsaw. Well, I mean, the Wild are definitely playing the role of Leatherface right now. And the Dallas Stars are all the kids that visit the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. How about Brock Faber? Give him one. I can get greedy. This is the only thing that I will say is you have to keep pushing. Like put Dallas full on their heels. And we got the fisties now. I could stand to give Yakov Trent. I really like Yakov Trenyan. I would be very happy if he gets a goal here. I would dig that very much. Favors looked great. They look determined. They look dialed right now. I said it yesterday. Let's turn this into a business trip. Dallas is certainly a fun place to be to check out the sites. We're not here for that. We're here to beat a team into submission. We're here to give them the Mule Kicker 7000. Might have to. If Remmer, if Dallas scores, we'll send you back. Yeah, this is just pardon my language, this is a shit kicking right now. All right, 9:57 remaining here in period 2. It's funny because just as I said, like, for the Wild, like Dallas being expected to be the team that wins this series, like this is one that, this is quite the statement to give up at home when you are the favored team. And the Wild are they're just swarming to the puck. Every Dallas player that has the puck, they're just swarming right to them. And imagine if the Wild go on to win this game with Quinn Hughes sick. Imagine what's going to happen when he turns it up, cranks it up to that next level. Yakov Trenyan has 8 hits so far. Wow. What is going on here? Are we getting a penalty? What are they? Are they just deliberating where the face-off is occurring? Wild are taking care of business in pretty much every facet, Ron, including the face-off circle, which is great to see. Of course, it doesn't matter if you win the face-off or not if you score on a power play in a 5-second span. That was pretty nice. And the Wild are they're just keeping it 5-on-5. They're just keeping it at 5-on-5 play. I am not surprised by that, Bob, because ESPN, they sure like the product that they spend billions of dollars on. They sure love to do hockey games. They're in what year? Are they in year 4 of broadcasting hockey games, and there are still like basic level audio issues during games? Like it's just amazing to me that they shelled out as much money as they did, and they still can't like exactly this. Like they cover hockey, they don't watch it. They have people on that don't know the games, they don't watch the games. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Does anybody remember back in the early days of ESPN broadcasts, they had the one wild game that they did where they accidentally, like, they forgot to send it to commercial break. So there was like a 5-minute stretch where they just showed the Zamboni resurfacing with no audio. That was electric. Some of the best intermission analysis that they've done. We are glad to have you from Australia. Thanks for tuning in, and you're coming in at a perfect time with a 4-0 lead for the Minnesota Wild. Just a scintillating start to this game. I guess Glassbanger is there, is at the game for Dallas. And he's not having a great time. Yeah, this was I was hoping to see the Wild have a good start to this game, but I don't think anybody expected a 4-0 start. And they had just have taken the attack straight to Dallas. Like they have been the aggressor the whole game. Now, this is like, keep it going. Like, don't let up here in the third. Kirill Kaprizov with the full 360 spinorama shot that is somehow crazy accurate. That's ridiculous. Dallas has, I think, 3 or 4 shots on goal this entire period so far. That Minnesota Wild defense is awfully suffocating. Face-off win out to the top of the zone and somehow out. Man, having a fully healthy Joel Eriksson Ek for this series is massive too. Marcus Johansson with a shot on goal. Everybody's getting involved. Ooh, that one hit the post. Another 360 spinorama shot that somehow hit the post. Oh man, if Ottinger would have given up that as a goal, oof, that would have been tough. That would have been tough with a capital T. Outstanding block to save a sliding Dallas Stars shot, and here comes Trenyon and the boys right down the other way. Vladdy laying it all on the line. I love it. I'm going to have to see this one. Is it a cross check? That I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Contact was made, but was it enough to prompt the player to completely fall over? I don't know about that. That one I probably would. But look, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it was close. That was closer almost to an embellishment than an actual 9.4. I'll go 9.2. All right, so now while we get to hear how good this Dallas power play is, good start and a good clear. Good work by several members of the Wild PK unit, but at the back end, Jesper makes the dandy save. That's funny too. Like if Dallas scores, they're going to say right back in it, right back in it. Boy, they are aggressive with the kickouts of the faceoff circle. There it is. All right, well, go get the next one. That's a good play by Robertson there. Little backhand sauce off the post. Yeah, that's just there's not much you can do about that. Jesper is in good position. That's just the one spot. That's the one spot that Robo could get that in. So now just go get the next goal. Like that one, shake it off. Shake it off and go get the next. Just like I predicted. Just like I predicted. ESPN said, "Oh, brand new hockey game. Don't count Dallas out of this yet. Brand new hockey game." They are buzzing though. Dallas is buzzing a little bit here. So you gotta lock this in quick. Yeah, you gotta lock this in quick. I feel like this is gonna need a wild push. Because what that goal did was, what the hell was that? What that goal did was that gave Dallas a reason to continue to keep rolling here. Like you just can't go back on your heels. Like get this to the second intermission. Take a second to regroup, and just go right back on the attack. Johnston had literally all millennium to shoot that puck after the turnover. And Jesper didn't move once. He tried 30 different dekes, and Jesper did not move one time. Let's just get this to the second intermission, and everybody can just take a breath. Yes, I'm planning to do as many of these as possible. During the week, absolutely. Weekends it just depends, but I'm planning to do as many as possible. Hopefully, all of the first round. Because you're watching. Why not? If I'm locked in, dialed in, watching, why not just watch with everybody else? All right, under 2 to play here. Okay, we've seen a little bit of juggling here, but not a ton. Tarasenko is currently playing with McCarron and Foligno. Spurgeon mixing it up. I like that. The Wild have outshot attempted the Stars 22-11 here in the second period. It's the separator period. All right, here we go. Nice little push, JoJo. Nice little push. Under a minute left. If the Wild can avoid giving up any of those just weird little goofy last minute goals of this second period, I just want the team to get to the locker room so they can just breathe. Just calm it down slightly, and just gear up for the third period. Dallas just refuses to stop icing the puck. Oh, scrum. A scrum with Jesper involved. And of course, Harman. Jesper just one punched Mikko Rantanen into the ice. All right. Period is over. Separator period for the Wilds. Dallas got theirs back. Jesper. Okay. Jesper's got a little crazy to him. He had the maniac smile going, looking at the Dallas Stars bench. He's got a little maniac to him. And I love that. All right. 4-1 after 2. I'm going to go to our second intermission content for you. Talked to Johnny Lazarus earlier this week. So let's fire up that here while I take a little break. Let's hear from Johnny. Welcome back to today's episode of Locked On Wild. Once again, we thank you for making Locked On Wild your first listen each and every day. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course, during playoff time, because it is about to get crazy this weekend. And here to help us take a look at the postseason and to talk about his belief in the Minnesota Wild in round 1, Johnny Lazarus of Morning Cup of Hockey and Tri-City Hockey, all on the Daily Faceoff. Johnny, we appreciate having you on here today. And I know you and Colby just went through on Morning Cup of Hockey. You just went through your predictions for the series, first round series. So I got to hear it. Tell me what's got you believing in Minnesota this year.
Yeah. First of all, Seth, great to be here. I feel dumb. I should have been wearing I have a sick team, like Wild logo shirt that I'll be wearing through the playoffs. Shout out to Dan from Athlete Logos. But I picked the Wild in 7. You know what? And honestly, there's not necessarily a whole lot of like logic or stats to help me prove why. This is one of those like gut feeling things. Like Billy G goes out, makes a big splash. Hopefully the guys can reward him in that. The center depth, obviously, with Minnesota is a concern, but with Dallas, you're missing Rupe Hintz, who's, one of the better and more underrated players in the league. That's a big hit down the middle for them. Don't know Rupe Hintz's timeline. Heiskanen, I guess, has been reported to return for the playoffs, but again, he's not fully healthy. Special teams to me kind of cancel each other out in this series. Both power plays are very strong, but in looking at some of the numbers and underlying stuff over the past like 6 weeks, and I love to use sports logic. I'm lucky enough that I have a friend who kind of hooks me up with an account, so I get to see like some of these little unique metrics and metrics, excuse me. And a couple of things that stand out, like for Minnesota, is the way they break out the puck and their offensive zone possession time. So just like looking at those 3 things over the last 6 weeks, Minnesota, their breakout success, which leads to ozone possession, is actually second in the NHL. And then their exit success, which leads to ozone possession, is also second. So, you look at that and it says, wow, the Wild break out of their own end cleanly, partially because of Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber, 2 incredible defensemen that are puck distributors, and then they lead to offense. So, typically that means they're not going to get hemmed in their own zone, even against a powerhouse like Dallas. And then the ozone possession time is actually it's 4th in the NHL. In that same span. So, this team is playing on the opponent's side of the ice. They have good goaltending. I don't know who's going to start. Wallstedt's been better lately, but Gustafsson, if he's on his game, obviously we saw what he's been able to do in previous years. And then honestly, it was really encouraging seeing how good Kaprizov and Boldy were last year against Vegas. And, I think they finished over a point per game in that series. And, those are 2 guys that I'll take over, as good as Heiskanen and Rantanen and Robertson and Johnson are. I'll take the big 3 in Minnesota over, a lot of other teams in the league. Honestly, I think they're right up there with Colorado too, and the big 3 they have there, and Natchez, McKinnon, and Makar. So lots of different things kind of led me to believe in Minnesota this year. I guess on record not believed in them in many years past, but something about Quinn and something about the juice they got going here. I'm very excited for the Minnesota Wild in the spring.
Well, I hope we don't let you down, because that's a pretty common theme when Minnesota teams get to the playoffs is utter heartbreak. But playoffs getting started this weekend. It's going to be just a lot of fun, and I want to start kind of just looking out east, because there are a couple of really intriguing stories in the East. You got Montreal, who made the playoffs, and they've got Cole Caulfield, 50-goal scorer. They've got a lot of young, fun talent. But the Buffalo Sabres may be the story of the postseason this year. They got off to a bit of a slow start, and then about the last 2/3 of the season, they have been the best team in the NHL, and they have just continued to do it. So just looking at those two teams, it's one thing for them to get into the postseason. For Buffalo, they break the long playoff drought. Do they have what it takes to kind of bring it to that playoff level and keep their success going this year in the postseason?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've been the best team in the league now for months. So it'd be kind of silly for me to say they don't. But I'm wondering how they're going to adjust. Like Buffalo is a big team on, I guess, controlling the puck, playing with possession, not necessarily a team that dumps the puck in a lot. And if Boston takes away the blue line from them, how is Buffalo going to adjust? Boston's one of those teams also similar to Minnesota that's great at breaking out the puck, great at zone exits. So if Buffalo, like Alex Tuch, Tage Thompson, Josh Norris, guys are trying to skate over the blue line and make plays, and Boston takes that away from them, what's Buffalo going to do with this high-octane offense and high-risk offense? The Sabres play like this running gun style that sometimes costs them and pucks end up in the back of their net. Granted, their goalies in UPL and Alex Lyon have played great, but both guys, we've seen Alex Lyon play playoff hockey. UPL, I don't believe has ever played in a playoff game, so this will be a first for him. And, there is a lot of pressure on Buffalo. I think people love to use the term this time of year with house money, but Buffalo, because of how good they've been, it's not like this is just, oh, we're happy to be in the playoffs after some 14-year drought. It's no, we're in this to win the cup. So, that's a lot to ask of these players to have that pressure right away, but they've earned that pressure. And pressure, I believe it's a famous quote, pressure is a privilege. And I think that's very true with the Sabres this year. So Boston, I think actually in this series has the house money, right? No one expected Boston to be here. I think Boston's got the better goaltending. I think Boston, the conversation we had this morning, like it's hard to decide which blue line's better. Like I think when you got McAvoy, Lindholm, Zadorov, like those are really strong D and experienced D. But then in Buffalo, Dahlin, Samuelson, Powers had a great year. Logan Stanley, like Bowen Byram, like those guys have won cup. Like Bowen Byram's won a cup too at a young age. But I don't know. It's a series that I definitely like flip flopped on. I ended up taking the Bruins in 6, but I think most of these series in the East can honestly go either way. It's not very lopsided.
No, it's a very very even field to say the least. One more on the East, the Carolina Hurricanes. They got the number 1 seed overall in the East with 113 points. And Carolina, they've had really no trouble getting out of the first round. It's what comes next that has been a problem for them over the last few years. And they're a tremendously talented team. Rod Brindamore, one of the best coaches in the NHL. Is this the year that they finally make a run and take this to the Eastern Conference Finals or beyond?
I don't think so. I took Ottawa to win this series in 7 games. I do think, and I said it this morning, I think if you're looking to bet on the game, every game is going to be an under. 2 really good defensive teams. But the thing with Ottawa, and I'd be more confident in Carolina in the second round more than I am with them facing Ottawa. And I just don't think the Hurricanes have played in a first round series against a team that's playing as well as the Senators have down the stretch. And it's funny, like Brady Tkachuk even said it on his own podcast that they play a similar style as the Hurricanes. Ottawa has a really good F3. They stay above the puck. They limit odd man rushes against. I believe they're second in the NHL right now when it comes to odd man rushes. They give up the 3rd least amount of shots on goal. So Carolina, who does get the most shots on goal, won't be getting high quality looks with how good Ottawa is at collapsing the middle. They don't allow much from the slot. So Carolina is going to be playing on the perimeter for the most part of the series, from what it seems like. And, I don't know if Carolina has the guys that are, they have skilled players in Aho and Jarvis and Svechnikov, but I don't know if they have the individual talent enough to break through that wall of Ottawa. So even though Carolina's power play has been good, that's come up short in previous postseasons where they've lost a special teams battle, but Ottawa's PK's been playing well. And I don't know, it seems like, well, it doesn't even seem like it. I think it's a fact. There's more pressure on Carolina this year than any other year prior, just because there's no one really in the way. There's no one really that they have to get through to get there. It's theirs for the taking. And I don't know. Something just tells me that Ottawa's going to take this one.
I like it. Locked on Senators, I'm sure we'll love that as well.
Yeah. Love those guys.
Let's swing over to the West. Obviously, Colorado, they got the President's Trophy. They've been the best team in the NHL all season. Dallas and Minnesota following closely behind. Is the Western Conference representative in the Stanley Cup final going to be one of those three, or could you see, Vegas? They got John Tortorella as head coach now. Edmonton has been there the last couple of years with Connor McDavid. Could you see one of those other five being able to pull off the upset, or is it going to be one of the top three in the Central?
I think it's going to be. Geez, it's so hard to bet against Colorado.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be them. And it doesn't take a genius to say that. So, it's tough, but I don't think the Pacific can stack up against any of those three teams in a 7-game series. And people want to talk about, the Central Division will be beat up. And, by the time they get to the conference final, it's going to catch up to them. But it's not like the teams in the Pacific aren't going to beat the crap out of each other.
Right.
They are, maybe they're not as good or as deep, but they're still going to battle. They're going to be battle tested. So I don't really stand by that narrative. And I think that's because, I've watched the Atlantic Division playoffs the last few years, and Florida is in a battle every round, and they seem to be able to find a way to do it in the Cup final. So I think that theory is totally debunked from the Florida Panthers. So I just think it's clear that the Central Division has better teams, and as good as Vegas has been, I don't think they have the firepower all around like those three teams do. Maybe honestly, maybe more well-rounded than Minnesota. No offense to Minnesota. I think it's fair to say on paper, Vegas is a more well-balanced team. But I still think that those three teams in the Central are just better.
Yeah. Head and shoulders above for the whole season. It's not like it was a 2 or 3 week stretch. They just have been better all season. So I want to ask you this is probably a loaded question, but it's one that has been talked about by pretty much every hockey show that exists. So I had to get your take on it. So we get the current NHL format. There are a lot of people that are saying either go 1 through 8, or I saw some people suggesting that the NHL do what the NBA does with the play-in tournament.
I was one of them. Yep.
Make the case. Make the case for me.
Yeah, well, they don't need to do exactly what the NBA does for the plan. But I do think having the 1 through 8, but making it 1 through 7, lock in 7 teams and leaving that 8 and 9 up for a 1-game play-in. We all know the 8th seed, does the 8th seed really ever fully belong more than the 9th seed does? You know what I mean? There's always one team that was just right there. So, and people say they're playing 82 playing games as it is, but you could just make the same case that the 82 games are to be in the top 7. And if you're toward the bottom of your conference, just try to work your way to get to the 9th spot, and then you give yourself a chance to play playoff hockey. To me, it's just a no-brainer when I watched the playing games the other night. It's just been great entertainment, and the way the NBA does it is different because they have 7 through 10, so you're not making it more spread out. If anything, you're just giving 2 extra teams a shot at it. You're not extending the playoffs or expanding the playoffs by any means. You're just allowing excitement to lead into it and to build into it. Not that the NHL playoffs even need that, but who wouldn't want, Bucci said it the best, a doubleheader of an Eastern Conference 8-9 and then a Western Conference 8-9 to get into the playoffs to kick things off. To me, that is a perfect win-win, no negative situation. And I'll look right now at the standings. I think it was Washington and Ottawa. I believe it was Washington, Ottawa that would have been playing in it. So yeah, the 8-9 would be, it'd be Philly hosting Washington. 1 game, winner gets in the playoffs. There are 3 points separating the 2 teams. And then in the West, LA versus Nashville, there's 4 points separating right now, and each have a game left to play. That's not such a drastic difference, between the seasons. And actually, Nashville has more regulation wins and Washington has more regulation wins. So there's all these different ways that we could improve it. Again, not that the Stanley Cup playoffs need much improving. It's a great product. Everyone loves it every year. People talk about how great playoff hockey is. But if you can just add 1 extra night, why not do it? And it doesn't hurt anybody. If anything, it helps 2 more fan bases, have 1 extra night of belief and hope.
Yeah. I think you're onto something here. Appreciate the time today, Johnny. And but before we go, I want to make sure to spotlight where listeners can listen to you. Obviously, Morning Cup of Hockey is one of my go-tos. So
Thank
for
you.
listeners who are looking for just a great way to kind of get the morning started, diving into different topics, recapping some of what we saw the previous night, Morning Cup of Hockey is a great spot to go. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about Tri-State Hockey, which is a new one that started up this year. I love the idea. I love the format. Just tell the listeners about Tri-State Hockey and where they can tune in.
Well, we screwed up because this is the first year that the Rangers, Devils, and Islanders have never made the playoffs. The year we started the show, so that totally backfired. But everything is on the Daily Faceoff YouTube channel. That is not a live show. That's a podcast, Morning Cup of Hockey. It's live every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking a lot about the Minnesota Wild, I think, through the playoffs. So very excited for that. We have Chris Keller come on our show all the time, the assistant GM of the Wild. Love him. He's the man. So we're behind the Wild, rooting for the Wild, and I appreciate you, Seth. And I also wanted to extend my condolences about Jessie Pearson and her family. I know, obviously, I don't think there's much that needs to be said about that, but my heart is with everyone in Minnesota. Like, I love everybody that works with the Wild, and I'd feel very sad if I didn't say anything. So thank you, and I'm with the Minnesota people. So I don't know, Minnesotans, is that what you guys call each other?
Yeah,
Minnesotans?
that's the one.
All right, I'm a Minnesotan for the playoffs.
Appreciate that, Johnny.
If you'll take me.
Yeah. We got a seat on the bus for you. So
I've been cruel in the past.
Well, hey, we've given plenty of reasons to be cruel. So appreciate you. Appreciate having you on the bandwagon, and looking forward to a crazy start to the postseason here this weekend. We'll catch up with you as things unfold.
Thanks, Seth.
How about that? Let's lock in. Let's dial in for the third period here, and keep the foot on the gas. You can't, with the team in full out desperation attack mode, you can't sit on a 3-goal lead against a team like the Dallas Stars. You got to take the fight to them. You got to, I would love at least another goal. But, even if you don't score, if you hold serve, if you attack, if you generate chances, I feel like the only way that this could go badly is if you just sit. If you just sit and try to kill off a penalty for 20 minutes. So let's not do any of that. Yeah. We don't need to go the gopher route or any of the other teams that have tried to sit on a lead and just hope that the other team is going to give up. That ain't it. I wanted to look just at some of the numbers here. So I am scouring Money Puck. Dallas has a 1.22 expected goals through 2 periods. So they have been stifled. And meanwhile, the Wild have a 1.70. Jake Ottinger has been he's been beaten a couple of times. So you just keep the push going, keep the fight going, keep the attack going. Don't do anything dumb as far as penalties go. You just got to win 1 period. Just win 1 period and send this one to the cleaners. Reminder, after the game, we will have a live post game for you. It'll take me just a little bit to. I'm going to try to do some of the work in the background while this game is finishing, but it will take me. It'll take me a couple of minutes to just get everything set up. So I will create a new stream for the post game that I'll hop into to do that. I also like to kind of keep that separate because I like to cut the audio for the audio listeners. So we'll do that separately. Yakov Trenyan was credited with 11 hits in the first 2 periods. And I know hits can kind of be a little bit of an arbitrary stat, but there is an element of this where the Wild need to just take the fight to the Stars. And if they do that, they can wear them down over the course of a series. Yeah, Trenyan has 11. Marcus Foligno has 6. Michael McCarron has 3. Marcus Johansson has 3 hits. And the Wild have the two biggest face-off takers are over 50%. In fact, the 3 biggest are over 50%. With Joel Eriksson Ek at 11 out of 18, Ryan Hartman at 6 out of 11, Michael McCarron is 4 out of 8. Nick Foligno is 2 out of 4. So they have handled the face-off circle here tonight. They've handled every aspect of this game. The only spot in which the analogy that I use, there was only one spot where it looked like Dallas got their head above water, and that was after they scored their power play goal in the second. That was that like 3 or 4 minute stretch at the end of the second period where they briefly got their heads above water. But beyond that, it's been an uphill climb for them all game. And now again, we got fisties. But we got fisties, but nobody on the Wild side has escalated it to a unnecessary level. What is the delay here? It's the official. The ref is throwing people out of the dot left and right, and then left again. Brodeen to the box. I don't love that. I don't love that one bit. Well, kill it off. If the official ever dropped the puck, jeepers. Nice. Good work. Good work in the corner, getting that puck out of there. Jesper good again. Is Jesper laughing and smiling in there? Just staying loose. Walled off that side. Nice. All right, take it home. Big block by Spurgey. Marcus Foligno just put somebody into the Stars bench. Oh, that's great. Good kill. Good kill. That was a great kill. A couple of big blocks, but good saves and good plays on the wall by the Wild to knock the Stars off the puck. Good work all around. All right, guys, come on. Little push. I would love another goal. I'm gonna create a different stream for the post game, just because I like to clip that audio because we got a lot of audio only listeners, so I like to clip the post game audio so that I can post it for them too. So there'll be a different stream for the post game, but I'm going to I will get that ready while this is going on, so it'll be just a short hop over to the post game, but it'll be shortly after, a couple minutes after the game is done. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush much at all. Like we're gonna hop right in once the game is done. enough time for a bathroom break or whatever you may need to do after this game is finished. There's the makeup call. But yeah, score a power play goal here and dagger this one. Dagger him in the dark. Oh, and I got to get my three gingers too for the post game. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I will be celebrating. I will be celebrating wins, post game wins with some Three Gingers whiskey. Denny has not been in here yet. He was going to try to join. I think he's out. He's out watching the game at. I'm not sure what bar it is, but he may join. If not tonight, then I think we'll have him on probably before game 2. So we will have him on. It's just, it's hard. Like it's hard off the phone at a bar. That gets tricky with noise and everything. So, we will, if we can, we will. If we can't, then we'll get him on. All right, Wilds 1 for 3 on the power play so far tonight. They could really dagger. You could really dagger Dallas if they get one here. Oh, they're heading for the exits. They're heading for the exits. Oh my God. Middle of the ice. Drew Erickson Ek with a dagger on the power play. Oh, and he beat him. He beat him under the arm. He beat him under the arm on that one. Wow. I am stunned. I should preface. I'm stunned that they did it in game 1. Like, I'm not going to say that I was shocked that the Wild won game 1, but I figured it would be close. Like, when I said 4-2, I was assuming there would be an empty net goal. They took the Stars out behind the shed. Vladimir Tarasenko laying it out on the line. Big blocks. Jesse is absolutely loving this. I would love to get the chance to read that gamer. Because, man, there is not much to not be absolutely thrilled about in this performance. Like, Jesper has he has seen the puck great. He has gotten great defense in front of him. He has been in the right position on pretty much every shot that he has taken. And even on the power play goal that the Stars scored, that was just a good play by Jason Robertson. That's just a good play by Robo on that goal. Jesper was in good position. Boldy penalty with 9:17 to play. They're going to take him for that. I don't know about that one. I'm on ESPN because ESPN takes less of my bandwidth, Matthew. So I would have FanDuel on, but I'm at my desk and I have learned pretty roughly. Yeah, I got the text on. I've got my YouTube TV on closed captioning so I can actually see what's going on, but it's just if I have FanDuel on, it just kills my bandwidth, and the stream's more important than what I'm watching. I figured you were kidding on that. Which reminds me, I should start getting that ready. Hines is not happy with the call, but I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do about it at this point. Oh, they did go 4-on-4. Delightful. Oh. Is Eck going to get a hat trick? I'm glad Sanity won out on that Boldy call, because he acted like he got shot on that penalty. So there are these things called copyright. I can't just have the game on, or I get the NHL. You would be surprised at the number of channels that get deleted for copyright infringement. I can't just have the game. I can't do what all those TikTokers do where you have the game on in the bottom half of the screen and people just crash out. Radio's the same way. I work in radio. I know the copyright. I work in radio. I've worked in radio for close to 15 years. I know the rules. I wish I could, because I understand how boring this is. But I also don't want to. I don't want this channel to get stricken from existence. No, I can't play the game without volume. I could play the radio without volume. No, I get it, because again, this isn't super entertaining. But I don't want to have to take this down or lose the channel. And that's the alternative. Like that's how it works. That's the way the NHL has decided that they want this to go. So we have to deal with what we can. What I should have said is I've had the radio on in the background on mute the whole time. Maybe I do. Did we kill off that 5-on-4 yet? Oh, I didn't want to do that a third time. Appreciate it. What do we got for Nick Foligno in this game? Nick Foligno's got 3. Yakov Trenyan's got 13 hits in this game. My God. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is a bubbler. Not a sponsor, but I enjoy drinking them. I've got 3 Ginger's Irish whiskey that I'll break out for the post game, but I'm pretty stitious about how things are going to play out for this postseason. Another penalty on the Wilds. Who's it on? Marcus? Jeez. Oh, is that on Nick? do we start Gustav Nyquist? We did not. We started Jesper. Until Jesper falters, it's his net. That's just the way it is. And if Gus has a problem with that, well, Billy dealt with that once before. Yeah, I appreciate you hopping in. And it is high stress because every single game is highest of highs, lowest of lows. You win game one, you feel fantastic. It can just easily change depending on what happens in game two. But win or lose, we booze. Do you think I'll ask you while you're here. Do you think Ovi comes back next year? I like it. I do too. I think Ovi's back. I think he's going to give it one more go. I hope, selfishly, this Flyers Penguins series is just a street fight the whole time. I don't know. Feels like it should be, doesn't it? Feels like it should be. All right, Dallas power play, 5 minutes left. Let's kill this off and go home. Good start, good kill, or good clear, I mean. God, what time is that Philly-Pittsburgh game going to start? That game was supposed to start at 7:25. There's no chance. That'll be closer to a 9:00 start. I'm watching on the 4-letter network because I have the first world problems. I have the 4-letter network on the absolute lowest video quality possible so that the stream doesn't absolutely die. Because we've seen what that looks like, and that's not great. Like, thank God ESPN has like the player nameplate, because I can barely tell that these are players. Hey, we do what we have to do, right? We do what we got to do. Oh, empty with 4:03 to play. Okay. I mean, I get it. That's exactly how I would do it. Who does Dallas's coach? Dallas's coach looks like some actor. I can't think of his name. Is it maybe the guy from the Terminator that was the shape-shifting blob? Is that maybe who I'm thinking of? He looks like an actor. This is how we win. This is how we do it. We just say, well, how can you tell it's the ESPN broadcast? You can barely make out what's going on. Like, they could drive a dark colored bus down the middle of the ice and I wouldn't be able to tell it was there. Uh, all right. Perfect time for. Are they still empty? Is Dallas still empty net? They are. I think if Wally had the goalie goal with the empty net, the entire state of Texas would just get sucked into the earth. All right. Power play killed off. And there's the empty netter. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, great read on that pass and just an absolute saucer down. What a pickpocket by Boldy, and oh man. Night night. Wow. But hey, credit to the Wild. All credit to the Wild. Because they were ready to go from the get-go on this game. They were ready to go from the drop. And they set the tone the whole game. They set the tone the entire 60 minutes. And saying about this Dallas Stars offense that they were above water for like 4 minutes, that's impressive. And the Wild didn't the funny thing here too, if we recall that series in 2022, 2023, the Wild used their physicality because at points it felt like the game was slipping away from them. And they did that because that was the only thing that they felt that they could do to kind of get back into it. They were physical in this game from start to finish. It was a beatdown. It was an absolute beatdown. Which reminds me, I better get everything ready to go here. All right, I will set this for. So I'm going to set the post. I'm going to set it to start at 7:45, but I will. I'll dial it back once the game is officially final. Because I do have to do I got to do my quick little 60-second reaction. But then after that, we'll be dialed in. We'll be ready to rock. What is... Or there's some fisties right at the end here. Oh, little bit of fisties. Oh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a start. What a start to the postseason. All right. Give me 5-10. And we'll get going over we'll get going on the other postcast. The postcast stream is up. So I will hop over to that as soon as I get everything ready to go. Thanks for hanging out. We'll do this again on Monday. Lots to break down in the post game as the Minnesota Wild brought it every second. We'll break it all down for you over on our post game stream, which is coming up here shortly. Wild win 6-1. 6-1. See you in a bit.